Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to English lesson for the first episode today for grade 10, unit 8. Now, unit 8 is basically about the power of technology. What's going to happen is the following. We're going to learn some vocabulary items as well as some set book questions and their answers. However, let's start when it comes to some tips about the set book. First of all, make sure that when you read all the questions, you read them carefully. 2, remember that the questions are of general nature. So you can use your background knowledge and textbook information. Make sure to write full, meaningful sentences. For the second tip, you need to provide 2 causes, reasons, or effects if the question asks so. Pay attention to handwriting and spelling because you don't want to lose some marks from those. Last but not least, revise your answers before you hand in your exam paper. Now, these are some questions that I want you to keep in mind as we go along in the lesson. The first question, can you think of some inventions your grandparents used in the past? For the second question, what inventions are we using nowadays? And 3, can you think of examples of future inventions? So think about the following: technology in the past, present, and the future. Now, think of them in terms of these things: fields of medicine, communication, traffic, entertainment, home appliances, or even housework. Appliances that make our work easier and better than before. For example, it could be something at home like a fridge or a microwave that we use to heat up our food. We think we're lucky because we have appliances that can do the jobs we hate. For example, we have computers that can help us to communicate with people instantly, whether they are people a few blocks away or people that are continents away within a few seconds. Let's take the word instantly, for example, as our first vocabulary item. It means at once or immediately. For example, the little boy's attention was instantly drawn to the toy on display. What about the sat-nav? It's a new vocabulary item as well, and we use it in the cars. It's a form of technology. It's a navigation that uses information from satellites. For example, we have cars with sat-nav that can tell us how to get to where we are going. We use it in the GPS mostly. We have the next vocabulary item, which is latest, an adjective. It means the most recent. For example, what is the latest invention? It could be the most modern smartphone. For the second example, our latest machine can pump 100 gallons of water a minute. In just a few years, the latest inventions will seem old-fashioned compared to the things that scientists are currently innovating and working on. Currently, what does it mean? It means at the present time. It's an adverb. For example, the hotel is currently under construction. What about innovate? It means to introduce changes and new ideas. For example, we must innovate in order to make progress. Cure-all, it's a noun. It's a medicine or a product that can cure a wide variety of problems. For example, current medicine is working on a cure-all for certain diseases. Next, we have shock. It's a noun, a sudden or upsetting, an uprising event or surprising event or experience. For example, it is a great shock to know that our latest inventions will be old-fashioned within 10 years. The next word is draw, a verb. It means to take. For example, I don't have any cash right now. I need to draw money from the bank. Nanoshells, which is one of the new technology that is being worked on in medicine. It's an extremely tiny case implanted in the body to fight disease. But what type of disease? Nanoshells will be able to define cancer tumors and destroy them using heat. The next vocabulary item for today is called gold-coated, and it's an adjective. It means covered with gold, just like the car you see on display. There will be changes in medicine. Gold-coated nanoshells are being developed. Now, for the first set book question, how will modern inventions help doctors in the future? Could be with nanoshells. They will cure diseases like cancer, like we said. They will find and destroy cancer tumors inside the human body. Now you have a new vocabulary item here called tumor. What is it? It's a swelling of a part of the body. For example, the man had an operation to remove a tumor, or the tumor had not spread to other areas of the body. Microrobot, it's also one of the new technologies that is being developed by medicine. It's a very tiny robot. For example, within 10 years, researchers will have developed microrobots which can be swallowed. Now, what will they do exactly? Microrobots will be able to travel through our bodies and repair organs that are not working properly. The next vocabulary item for today is called sophisticated, an adjective. It means developed to a high degree of complexity. For example, mobile phones will continue to get smaller and become more and more sophisticated. Contact lenses, it means a thin plastic lens placed directly on the surface of the eye to correct visual defects. We sometimes use them instead of glasses. For example, we will soon be able to wear an active contact lens which can display our emails and internet web pages. We're finished with the tasks, or we finished with the vocabulary, and we're finished with the set book questions. Let's see if you can solve these vocabulary tasks. We have the first sentence. Fill in the spaces with the most suitable words from the list below. We have contact lenses, innovate, draw, cure all, and instantly. Sentence number 1. We can now communicate blank with people on the other side of the world. What word are we going to use here? Instantly. Excellent job. Now let's move on to the second sentence. Microsoft's company managed to blank a new operating system. They managed to do what? Innovate. Excellent job. Now sentence number 3. Scientists are working hard on a or an drug to relieve all pains. The answer is cure-all. Well done. For the last sentence, I usually wear blank, but I sometimes wear glasses when my eyes hurt. What do you wear when your glasses hurt? You wear something else. Contact lenses. Excellent job. Now let's move on. We're finished with the vocabulary test. Let's move on to the next lesson about smart clothes. Let's get into smart clothes, which is some of the form of new technology that are being developed or are available right now. Smart clothes that we use nowadays, either in winter or in summer. Now, these are some questions that I want you to keep in mind. The first question, how can clothes be smart? We're usually adapted to the idea that smartphones could be smart. Certain applications or certain things that we use at home, like a fridge, could be smart. But how can clothes be smart? What can or will smart clothes be able to do for the person who wears them? Can you think about that as we go along with the lesson? Great. Now, future robots, that's another thing we're going to learn for today. How will future robots be able to do what they cannot do right now? Think about that as we go through the lesson. What devices do you need to keep your houses cool in summer? Obviously, we use air conditioning to keep our houses cool in summer. It helps us. Now, what about some devices to keep us warm in winter, which is the opposite of an air conditioning? Heaters. We need heaters to keep our houses warm in winter. For the next question, what clothes can do for the wearer in the future? What can they do for the wearer in the future? Two things. They can control our temperature, keep us cool in summer and warm in winter, as well as they can also save lives by checking a person's heart rate. Can you believe that? Something very developed, something very new. We're not very used to it. Some people need bifocal glasses for distance as well as reading instead of having a separate pair of single vision glasses for each. The underlined word is, like you guessed it, a new vocabulary item. What does bifocal mean? It means having different focal length, one for distant vision and one for near vision. Something to see from afar or something to read up close. The next vocabulary item is frequent. It means happening or doing something often. For example, the art gallery holds frequent exhibitions and concerts every year. The next vocabulary item is instigate. What does it mean? To bring about or initiate an action or event, to start something. For example, computers can help us to instigate new learning technology. The next word is legible, something we always tell you as teachers to keep in mind during exams. Legible means clear enough to read, whether handwriting or print. For example, Maryam's handwriting was neat and legible. We can read it. The next word, obedience. It's something that we hear from our parents mostly when they tell us an order or give us a command. Obedient means obeying commands. For example, students are expected to be quiet and obedient in the classroom. What about patient as a new vocabulary item? What do you think it means? It means able to wait without becoming annoyed or anxious. For example, you'll just have to be patient and wait until I'm off the phone. Reputation is another vocabulary item for today. It means the beliefs or opinions that are generally held about someone or something. For example, the new restaurant has a fine reputation. That means that people are saying good things about this restaurant. Software, it's something we use in technology, mostly computers or smartphones. It's the programs used by a computer. For example, the software enables you to access the internet in seconds. It could be something like an internet surfer or anything else like that. What about spot? It means a particular place or point. It's a noun. For example, 10 years ago, you couldn't find an easy spot to park in town. It was near impossible. But nowadays, it's very simple to find a spot. We're finished with the vocabulary tasks or vocabulary items. Let's go for the vocabulary task. From A, B, C, and D, choose the most suitable word that best completes each of the following sentences. We have sentence number 1. Lenses are commonly used by people who are over 40 and begin to notice a change in their vision. What do you think the answer could be here? Could it be bifocal, legible, obedient, or patient? We just took these vocabulary items, so you should know the answer by now. The answer is bifocal. Excellent. Now let's go for sentence number 2. He has a blank as an excellent doctor. That is why we chose him. Why do you think they chose a doctor? So they must have heard something very good. So could the answer be spot, reputation, software, or cure-all? I'll give you a few seconds. The answer is reputation. Excellent job. Those of you who got it wrong, try again next time. For sentence number 3, we should be blank to our parents and grandparents. Parents and grandparents, usually there has to be something we give them. Something we have to be in order to. Is it bifocal, legible, obedient, or patient? The answer is obedient. Parents and grandparents should be obeyed at all times. Now sentence number 4. I cannot read the passage he has just written. His handwriting is not. So someone wrote something, you can't read it. What's the answer here? Is it legible? Is it patient? Outlandish? Or bifocal? Eliminate some of the words that you think are not it. The answer is legible. Excellent job. Now let's continue with the rest of the vocabulary. We have the word anniversary, which is a noun. What does it mean? It means a date on which an event took place in a previous year. For example, we celebrate the anniversary of Kuwait's independence every year. What about recharge? It's a verb. It means to restore electrical power in a device. Sometimes we usually do this when our phones are about to die, when we need them the most. For example, the phone takes about 3 hours to recharge. Or disconnect the battery and recharge it. The next vocabulary item is remind. It's a verb. It means to cause someone to remember someone or something. For example, smartphones can remind us about any important task, event, or meeting. We usually use them in the morning to help us wake up. Or, your hair and eyes remind me of your mother. The next vocabulary item is trespass. It's a verb. To enter the owner's land or property without permission. For example, it's not allowed to trespass people's property. Now let's go through the vocabulary tasks very quickly. We have the first sentence, my parents always blank us to read the Holy Quran. Recharge, trespass, remind, or draw. So what's the answer? They usually tell us this every time. Excellent job. They remind us to read the Holy Quran. Sentence number 2. February 25th, you know this date, is the day we celebrate the blank of Kuwait's independence. You just had an example on the same word. Do you think you can remember it? What's the answer? Software, anniversary, sat-nav, or could it be shock? The answer is anniversary. Excellent job. Now, in your opinion, how will housework change in the future? What do you think will happen to the housework that we find it a little bit tiresome or annoying sometimes? Robots will be able to do the jobs around the house. They can remind us of important dates, or they can even watch our house when we are away. They keep guard and protect our homes and valuable items. Now, for the episode summary, what did we learn? We learned some vocabulary items in sentences. We learned how to use them. And we also answered some set book questions that could be of help for you to understand. Thank you for watching.